Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Liverpool have ignored injury concern that has given Arne Slot another problem. Second news is Wayne Rooney makes bizarre Liverpool aura claim and delivers Arne Slot sack verdict. He will be gone. Now details. Arne Slot has long bemoaned the lack of consistency as the reason his team are left facing an uphill battle to secure a top-4 Premier League finish this season. But there's one aspect where Liverpool have been depressingly regular since lifting a record-equaling 20th championship last May. Wataru Endo became the latest Reds player to be struck by injury when suffering a serious foot problem during the hard-fought 1-0 win at Sunderland last Wednesday. The versatile Japan international joins striker Alexander Isak and defenders Connor Bradley and Giovanni Leoni as a long-term absentee, although Slot is hopeful Endo will be back available before the end of the season. Of course, injuries are commonplace, with few players managing to get through an entire campaign unscathed. But with Liverpool having taken a conscious decision to work with a relatively small squad compared to their main Premier League rivals this season, that so many players have been ruled out for lengthy periods. Both Alisson Becker and Jeremy Frimpong have also had spells missing for at least 6 weeks at a time, has exposed another issue with which Slot has had to contend. The injury problems have extended to a raft of leading academy players who may otherwise have been options to help occasionally ease the burden on the senior players, along with first-team squad regulars, 18-year-old Trey Nyoni and 17-year-old Rio Ngumoha. Jadon Danns is the most obvious example. The 19-year-old striker scored for Slot in the FA Cup last season and started the Champions League dead rubber at PSV Eindhoven and had returned to fitness following a back problem to come off the bench in the League Cup win over Southampton in September. 4 days later, though, Danns suffered a major hamstring injury while playing for the under-21s at Ipswich Town and has yet to return to full training, although he is back working on the grass and understood close to being given the green light to step up his rehabilitation. Jadon, if he would have been fit, he would definitely have been in the squad, said Slot last month. He will fight back and come back, and the world will get to know him the moment he's fit again. But there are more. Stefan Bajcetic, who is now approaching 2 years since his most recent Liverpool appearance, is another yet to resume full training after a number of minor setbacks in his recovery from a hamstring operation last May towards the end of his loan spell at Spanish side Las Palmas. A succession of injury problems have meant the 21-year-old midfielder has only 55 senior appearances, 22 of them at Liverpool, since making his first-team debut in August 2022. Other fitness issues have robbed Slot of potential options and youngsters a chance to develop on loan. Kaide Gordon, the 21-year-old winger who made his Liverpool bow back in September 2021, featured from the bench in the League Cup loss to Crystal Palace in October, but tore his meniscus in December and continues to be sidelined. James McConnell, the 21-year-old midfielder who earned the praise of Slot last year, was spending the season at Ajax before the sacking of former Reds assistant coach John Heitinga as boss, and a shoulder injury curtailed his stay. The need for surgery to repair the damage scuppered any chance of another loan move being agreed during the recent transfer window. Welity Lucky is out with a hamstring injury, having made his senior debut as substitute against Palace in October. The 20-year-old centre-back was particularly missed in the UEFA Youth League earlier this month, having previously helped Liverpool keep clean sheets in all 3 games in the competition in which he played. And Will Wright, the 17-year-old striker summer signing from Salford City, sustained a knee injury in September, from which he only returned last month. The increase in overall standards in the Liverpool first team over the last decade makes it more difficult than ever for players to make the step up from the academy. But that so many of the more highly rated youngsters have missed huge swathes of the season has made already difficult matters that little bit more testing for Slot. Second news is Wayne Rooney makes bizarre Liverpool aura claim and delivers Arne Slot's sack verdict. He will be gone. Former Everton and Manchester United striker Wayne Rooney has claimed Arne Slot doesn't have the aura to be Liverpool head coach and will be sacked if he fails to secure Champions League qualification. Slot became the 10th and most recent boss to guide the Reds to the Championship when his side romped to a record-equaling 20th title for the Anfield outfit last term during his first season in charge. The present campaign, though, has been more difficult with Liverpool having struggled to adapt to a host of new signings, a number of key injuries, and the tragic death of Diogo Jota last summer. They currently stand in 6th place in the Premier League table, but have lost only 2 of their last 19 games in all competitions, while progressing to the last 16 of the Champions League and FA Cup. But Rooney believes Slot doesn't have the right vibe to be Liverpool boss, despite his title triumph, and that silverware won't spare him the sack if the Reds don't improve on their current top-flight standing. Strange, isn't it, when you're talking about Slot being on an audition to keep his job when he has obviously recently won the Premier League, said the ex-England international. I have met him a couple of times, but I just don't think, for Liverpool, he has that aura, and maybe that's because Liverpool have just come off the back of Jurgen Klopp as manager. It's difficult for anyone to do that, but I just don't think there is that aura about him. I have spoken to managers, and I know they can be difficult at times, but if he doesn't get them top 5 in the Premier League, he will be gone, for sure. It's crazy to say when he has just won the Premier League. Speaking on the latest episode of the Overlap Fan Debate in association with Sky Bet, Rooney also dismissed suggestions Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah should shoulder the blame for Liverpool's shortcomings this season. Van Dijk and Salah, which I have been vocal about this season, may have lost a yard or two. They are the 2 leaders of the team, he said. The players they have lost around them would make it very difficult for any side to win the title. That should not count against Van Dijk and Salah. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's missing, Andy Robertson hasn't played a lot of games, Luis Diaz left, and the Jota situation. Even Darwin Núñez brought something, he wasn't great, but he brought something. Liverpool have lost a lot of players, so it is sort of a rebuild period. For me, Salah is one of the Premier League's greatest of all time, and Van Dijk will be in the conversation as one of the best. I don't think he is the best ever, but in this generation, he is certainly the best centre-back. Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher, however, is confident Slot will still be in charge next season. Arne Slot would be such a better manager next season off the back of this season, in some ways, he said. That's what I keep thinking, because I don't think it is all his fault. Any manager now managing this squad, with Salah not being the same player as before, Van Dijk not quite the same player as last season as well, the squad's not that big or balanced. I'm not sure there would be a manager out. They're getting loads more out of the squad, if I am totally honest.